Today, the topic we are going to discuss is the notification clause in professional indemnity insurance. Specific topic is notification clause. Why delaying intimation can cost you your entire professional indemnity claim. So, before discussing the notification clause, which is a part of the professional indemnity policy, let us understand the basic features of a professional indemnity policy. First of all, what is professional indemnity insurance? Professional indemnity insurance is also known as Errors and Omissions Policy. And this policy covers liabilities arising out of errors, omissions, or negligence. And the target insured for this policy are professionals like doctors, engineers, chartered accountants, medical establishments, and so on and so forth. We'll go into more detail later. But basically, the policy is issued to cover liabilities arising from professional mistakes or errors of omission or commission. Every person is expected to exercise utmost care when he is going about his daily business. But in the respect of a professional, because of his expertise in the subject in which he is a professional, he is legally expected to exercise an additional level of care than the common man. So if there is a failure in exercising this care, and because of his acts of omission or commission, a legal liability arises. This could result in the award of a compensation in a court of law, which causes a pecuniary loss to the insured. And that is why this policy is important and it is taken by professionals. How does it work? Why is it required? Why is a professional indemnity insurance required? It protects professionals and businesses from financial losses. It covers the legal costs arising from claims due to negligence or errors of omission or commission. It also covers the legal cost of defending a claim in a court of law. It also protects the professional reputation of the professional involved and acts as a safety net for the professional. So, in other words, if we take an example of, let us say, a medical practitioner, a doctor, who, to the best of his ability, has been treating a patient. However, certain protocols need to be followed while treating a patient. For specific diseases, there are specific protocols, or for specific procedures, there are specific protocols. It could happen that by negligence, the doctor has failed to follow the sequence in the protocol properly. As a result, the patient suffers either from an increase in severity of the disease or maybe even death also. And then the patient or his legal heirs have the right to claim compensation from the doctor. So this will give rise to two issues. One is the legal compensation involved, and two is the loss of reputation for the doctor. Because after all, he is supposed to be the expert in his subject. So that is why professional indemnity will act as a safety net, and it will take care of the financial loss occurring out of a claim lodged against him. So who can be covered under a professional indemnity insurance policy? As we said already, doctors in medical establishments, engineers, architects, interior decorators, chartered accountants, financial and management consultants, lawyers, advocates, solicitors, counsels. In fact, any professional who takes fee for his professional services and who might find himself liable to pay compensation in case of any negligence on his part is eligible to take the professional indemnity insurance. In fact, legally also sometimes it is required. For example, in the case of insurance brokers, they are legally bound as per the Insurance Act and as per IRDAI regulations to have a professional indemnity policy in place. So any professional who charges fees for his services has got a legal duty in case of any loss caused by his negligence or his errors of omission or commission to make good that loss, and this policy will take care of all such professionals. What is the coverage? What is the sum insured under a professional liability indemnity policy is basically the amount of the award given by the court of law. And that is the amount. The award is the amount he is legally liable to pay as a damage to the third parties. Now, courts will award whatever they feel is a fair compensation. However, as far as the terms and conditions of the insurance policy are concerned, the liability needs to be decided and declared beforehand in the form of the maximum liability for any one accident or incident and the maximum liability in aggregate for any 1 year. So we will come to that part later. But basically, what is covered under this policy is the legal liability to pay damages to third parties out of acts of omission or commission or errors arising out of acts of omission or commission while rendering professional services. The defense cost, which will form part of the award given by the court of law, the defense cost also is covered under the professional indemnity policy, subject to the limits of the any one accident or any 1 year. So this is the coverage. Having defined what is covered, what is the legal liability which arises out of commission and omission in the course of rendering professional services, obviously the next part that should be concerning us is the claims under the professional indemnity policy. So how does a claim get triggered? There are certain conditions for claims. First of all, a claim is valid when it is made against the insured in writing. So the person who is injured or who is hurt by the negligence or errors of the professional has to lodge a claim in writing against the professional. So let us take the same example of a doctor who has made a mistake while giving treatment, and the patient, or the patient's legal heirs will have to file a claim in writing against the doctor, saying that because of your act of negligence or your error of commission or omission, I have suffered such and such a loss, and please make good the loss to me, or you pay me compensation. In simpler terms, pay me compensation. So this has to be made in writing, number one. Number two, this should occur during the active policy period. Now, policy period is, again, it's a total different issue when it comes to liability policies. Because in liability policies, if we go through the conditions, there are two periods. One is the policy period and one is the period of insurance. So the period of insurance can be briefly described as the period of 1 year for which the current policy is. For the policy period, it means the starting date of the first policy taken by the professional with the company and continuing without break, renewed without break till current policy, end of current policy expiry. So that means this can be 1 year, this can be 2 years, this can be 10 years, this can be 15 years, the policy period, depending upon how continuously the policy is being renewed without break. So in terms easier to understand, for example, the current insurance policy is for the period between 1st of April 2025 and 31st of March 2026. However, in 2024, some treatment has failed or something has occurred which is giving rise to a claim. But the problem was discovered only during the current policy period only. That still would be covered under the policy. So this means that the claim can have occurred any time in the past, But the continuity of the policy has to be there. That means it has to be renewed continuously without break, which will cover such a claim even though it has occurred in the past. Normally, under general insurance policies, any claim, any policy is of 1 year only, and any claim has to occur and must be triggered during that particular year only. Whereas in under liability policies, if the policy is in force and being renewed continuously over a long period, then any claim which is happened in the earlier years but discovered now will still be covered. So this is a active policy period means that. And the third party or the person who is affected has to lodge his claim alleging that he has suffered a loss due to the professional service or deficiency of the professional service. So how does it happen? How now a claimant has made a claim in writing against the insured. The insured is our professional. Let us not get confused. The claimant is the person, the third party who is affected by the behavior or his actions of the professional who is our insured. So how does the insured, that means the professional, inform the insurance company? The insured also has to inform the insurance company about an incident which has given rise to the claim. In other words, as soon as a claim is lodged by the third party, affected third party against the insured has to inform the insurance company about this incident. Sometimes an incident would have happened, but there would not have been a claim made against the insured. But the potential for future claim exists. In future, somebody could lodge a claim against the insured saying that on so and so date, you have done this action which has resulted in a loss to me. Now you make good the loss. This has not been made to the insured in writing as of date, but an incident has occurred. And there could be a future claim. Even that has to be informed to the insurance company in advance, saying that there is an incident which has happened today, and in future there could be a claim against me. I'm keeping you informed. So potential claims have to be informed to the insurance company in order to secure the coverage or in order to secure the in order to ensure that the policy will cover it. So what is payable as per the policy? We have already discussed this in an earlier slide also, but for the sake of clarity, repeating, whatever the insured is liable, legally liable. When we say legally liable, it means that the court has to give the award which is binding on the insured. So when the insured is legally liable to pay compensation to the third parties, such compensation, or as it is known, in other words, damages, are payable. And this is arising out of negligence in the performance of professional duties or services, and it could be arising out of acts of omission or commission. In addition to this legally liable damages awarded by court, the legal costs or the cost of defending the case in a court of law also will be covered. Subject to indemnity limits, terms and conditions and exceptions, the sum insured or the amount confirmed or guaranteed by the policy is subject, whatever may be the award of the court. But that award, as far as the terms and conditions of the policy, which is a contract between the insured and the insurance company, is concerned, the limits of indemnity are predefined, and the insurance company will pay only according to the limits of indemnity already set in place. And the coverage only applies when service fees are collected. In other words, the professional has to charge for the services he has provided. Unless that is proved, that there has been a service provided and an amount charged towards that service, it cannot be counted as a covered item under the policy. So, what is the claim notification clause under the terms and conditions of the policy? So, the claim notification clause mandates that immediately any claim made against the insured in writing or potential circumstance, or that means in future something which could give rise to a potential claim during the policy period has to be informed immediately in writing to the insurance company. A failure to inform can lead to the denial of a claim by the insurance company. Now, why is this important? Why the failure to inform gives rise to a denial from the insurance company's side? It is important to understand this aspect because timely intimation of the claim will allow the insurance company to guide the insured to take a proper defense in the court of law. The appointment of a suitable advocate, the preparation of a proper defense to prove that there was no negligence, all these things are important because it is the duty of the insured to defend his reputation in the court of law and ensure that the allegation of negligence is disproved. This will work for the insured in two ways. One is that the claim can be denied by the court. The court can say that there is no negligence, hence there is no liability. Second thing, the professional reputation of the professional of the person who is defending himself is also taken care of. So that is why the defense cost is important, and timely intimation enables the insurance company to take care of this in advance by appointing the advocate or approving the appointment of a suitable advocate who can take the defense in the court of law to its logical conclusion. So, coming to the key aspects of the notification clause, the words immediately or as soon as practicable, these are important words. It is important that the insured has to inform in writing to the insurance company immediately as soon as something has happened, so that the insurance company is warned in advance and can help the insured to prepare a proper defense. As soon as practicable also has the same implications. The implication is that there is no time to be wasted. This is the number one point. Number two point is the written requirement. The notifications has to be informed to the insurance company. The notice of a claim lodged against the insured has to be informed to the insurance company in writing. And earlier, when the internet was not so invasive, it used to be insisted that this should be done in writing. Now, even a mail is sufficient, which will be provided in the policy itself, the mail address or ID, whatever is the insurance company's mail ID or address. In the event of a claim, the instructions are given in the policy itself, how the insurance company expects to be notified. So what is it that the insured has to inform the insurance company? They have to forward all letters or writs or summons or legal processes, whatever the third party is lodging against the insured in writing. Those things have to be forwarded immediately to the insurance company. Then sometimes there might be incidents which might not result in an immediate claim, but which could give rise to potential claims. Now, for example, let us take the case of an operation, of a surgical operation conducted by a hospital or by a surgeon, where the treatment is over and the patient has been discharged, but there have been complications. And in the event of later developments where the patient is suffering or likely to die, there could be a case of medical negligence made out against the particular doctor or the hospital. So, as of now, immediately there might not be a claim, but there could be a potential claim if the professional is aware that in future something could happen which could give rise to a claim, then even such incidents should be reported. So that is also a part of the notification clause. So we can take a few case studies just to get an idea of what is happening, though I've been giving you some examples along the way. In this case, a chartered accountant delayed reporting on an advisory mistake. He is advising, he has to give advice to his customer. A chartered accountant not only verifies the books of account, but he also has to give certain advices to the customer so that the customer can run his business more efficiently. There was a mistake in giving the advice. It could have been a wrong advice, or it could have been a failure to provide that advice. Whatever it is, there was an error or a mistake. And The CA has delayed reporting this to the insurance company. As such, the insurance company could not make a proper investigation. This has resulted in uh, the insurance company denying the claim due to late intimation. So it is important that the insurance company is given sufficient opportunity by timely reporting of claims to conduct their own investigations or to give proper advice to the insured for the appointment of a defense attorney to defend the case. So delaying the intimation will be a costly mistake on part of the professional. Come to the key consequences of delay. Insurer may refuse to pay if prejudiced. So if the insurance company, see, any insurance company would like, as far as the policy is concerned, as far as strategy is concerned, they would like to reduce the outgo in the claims. However, if legal liability is established and court gives an award, which is payable under the terms and conditions of the policy, the insurance company will gladly honor the claim of the insured. However, if they are delayed, if they are denied the opportunity to investigate or safeguard its own interest, then the insurer's interest would be prejudiced. So, insurer may refuse to pay. Then the legal defense. Timely reporting of claims will allow immediate appointment of advocates to defend the insured. When delayed reporting is there, the trail could cool down or lose important information or clues, which will make the case weak. So immediate appointment of an advocate is most important and paramount. The third point, which is the most important point, I would say, is that legal liability claims are long-tailed. Now, the word long-tailed has to be understood. It is not a literal in a literal sense, in the sense of a physical tail or something. But as I told you, a policy, we were talking about the retroactive clause which is there in the policy. That is an interesting clause by itself, which should be studied. The retroactive clause in all liability policies is an important clause which should be studied when you are underwriting liability policies. So, as per that clause, the period of insurance is from the very first date when the first policy was taken with the insurance company, renewed continuously without break till the end of the current policy period. So, this period of insurance itself could be very long. It could be more than 2 years, it could be more than 5 years, it could be more than 10 years, depending on how long the insured has been renewing his policy without break. So, any incident which could have occurred in any of those claims and could have been reported, and the insurance company would have to admit liability. Now, courts themselves take a long time to give judgments. So, it is possible that a claim is lodged in the year 2026 and the final award would come somewhere down the line, maybe 2 or 3 years down the line, or even 4 or 5 years down the line. Let us say in 2030, the claim is the award has finally come and the insurance company has to settle the award. So that means the claim has to be on the books of the insurance company for 4 to 5 years. That is the meaning of long tail claims. Generally, in other type of businesses like fire or motor or anything, the claim maximum duration, a claim will be in the books of the insurance company would be maximum maybe 6 months or even less also. But here under legal liability claims, the claims could be there on the books of the insured for many years. And as per accounting standards, the insurance company has to make a full provision for such claim, legal liability claim, plus interest, plus defense costs. So you can understand and you can imagine what the ultimate cost of a claim will be to the insurance company. Therefore, insurance companies are not going to be very happy if claims are not reported in time, because it impairs or it disturbs their ability to make a proper provision for the claim in their books of accounts. So timely reporting will allow legal defense, it protects the reputation, and it ensures that insurers handle long tail claims efficiently by way of proper provisioning for the liability and the accrued interest on that. So that is why any breach of this condition of immediate reporting would lead to the uh, insurance company denying its liability as per the terms and conditions of the policy. So if the insured wants to be fully protected, it is important that he should immediately report all claims which might arise, which have arisen or might arise in the future. By doing that, the insurance company, once again, I'm repeating, the insurance company would be able to appoint a proper defense, make a proper provision for the claim in the books of accounts. Now, another case study, uh, one more case we can discuss. There was a hospital which has immediately reported a surgical error. There was a surgery performed, and there was some error in the performance of that surgery, which has given rise or which could give rise to a future claim. The hospital, which is the client, which is the insured, has immediately taken steps to report the incident to the insurance company. The insurer has immediately arranged a proper defense uh, to prove that this error has occurred not out of negligence, but during the course of the treatment. So, as far as the insured is concerned, his reputation was protected. The financial outgo also was protected because the insurance company was informed in time, and timely reporting to the insurance company led the insurance company to help in providing proper defense as well as to make proper provision. So we have seen in two case studies. In the earlier case study, we have seen what happens when claims are not reported in time. It could lead to denial of the claim by the insurance company. And in this case, where the claim is reported promptly and in time, how the insurance company will take it in a positive manner and help the insured with the defense and also make proper provisions. So I think that should end our discussion today on the uh, effect of delayed intimation in liability policies, specifically professional indemnity policies. Thank you very much.